What's up, YouTube? This your man's Veracity TT, back again with another tutorial. Today we're going to go analog versus digital. What do I mean? So I have 1, 2, 3. We're going to use 3 separate sound cards. No, actually 4 sound cards. We're going to use 4 sound cards and see which one sounds the best. The way I'm going to do this experiment is, I got a loop that I created on the MPC. What I want to do is I want to use the internal sound card on the MPC and record that through wires. I want to use the SSL as the sound card for the MPC, meaning instead of using the internal sound card, we're going to use the SSL. I'm going to plug it up through the USB to the MPC, and the wires that go through the SSL, the main, left, and right, we're going to record that. Also, I'm going to use the X32 as a sound card for the MPC. Take the left and right main wires, record that. Now out of each recording, we're going to the Apollo X6, right? So this is my highest quality sound card in here. So we're going to the Apollo X6. And then what I'm going to do is, after I get those 3, we're going to go into the MPC DAW. And I am going to use the X6 as the sound card in the MPC DAW and bounce the same loop down. Then also, I'm going to go back to the studio program. I think I'm going to use Pro Tools for this tutorial, okay? I used Studio One and did this tutorial before, and I just want to check something. So this time, I'm going to use Pro Tools and see if I get similar results. Because I already did this. I recorded it and everything, but I just didn't post the video because I wasn't sure if I just wasn't sure about certain things. So now that I'm more certain, I'm going to use Pro Tools this time to see if I get the same results. Now in Pro Tools, I'm going to load the MPC plugin. We're going to load the MPC plugin, and I'm going to bounce the same beat down inside of Pro Tools with the MPC plugin. And I'm going to play all of them, and we're going to see which one sounds the best. Good, dope tutorial. So I know people have done this experiment before. I just kind of want to see which sound card sounds the best. Let's go ahead and pull up Pro Tools and get that going, because I just want to see. And I'm going to record this at 96 kilohertz. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, y'all heard that high pitch like piano sound I got in there. A lot of this stuff I might stretch or warp or do halftime, or I might even want to add a sample on top of this when I'm switching between the hook and the verse. And when I do that, I'm definitely probably going to warp or pitch something up or something. So I want to be in a higher sample rate so I can get high quality results doing that. The lower your sample rate, it retains less quality, okay? Less snapshots. The higher your sample rates, it takes all the snapshots that you need to basically recreate that sound that we're hearing in the real physical world to replicate it in the digital world. So that's really what the sample rate is. So that's why I'm at 96. Also, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I like to record my vocals at 96 as well. Sound better to me. Sometimes I might do 88, depending, but very, very rarely. I usually just go 96. My computer can handle it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lower latency anyway when you record, and lower latency when you go your sample rate higher. So that's another thing. So that's why we're doing that. So I just wanted to let you guys know why I chose 96 over anything else. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the MPC is locked at 44.1, the MPC 1 Plus. Even if you use a sound card as the, as the sound card, like if I use the SSL going into the MPC, I can't change the sample rate. It's still going to be locked at 44.1. So keep that in mind. But when you're recording through wires into a device that's at a higher sample rate, you're going to get that higher sample rate inside, when you record or whatever. So if you do time stretch it or anything inside the DAW where you recorded the new sample rate, it's going to sound much better than if I had the sample rate recorded at 44.1. So keep that in mind, okay? It's not like you hearing anything different with the sample rate being higher when you're recording it at first, but later on when you start adjusting it with certain effects, like even certain plugins sounds better because they'll start being oversampled internally depending on which plugin it is. Some of them get oversampled internally and it works better at a higher sample rate. All right, so I just wanted to give you guys a little 411 on that and why I'm doing that, okay? So this tutorial might get kind of long, but if this is what it takes, guys, you can't be expecting everything to be Burger King, McDonald's, and fast food. Sometimes you gotta have that soul food where you take time, season things, and get things going, okay? Everything can't be quick, fast, and in a hurry. So yes, this might take us a little while, but we're gonna get it. Analog versus digital. We're gonna go 96. We're gonna go 32-bit float. Now we're gonna do. So we need one, two, three. We need four stereos, right? And we need one instrument track because we're gonna load the MPC plug-in. Okay, I'm back. I named everything. So I'm going to just press play on the beat to see which port is coming out. And I'm going to leave it. I'm going to just make everything go through that same port one at a time. So it's coming out at 5 and 6. So let's go back to Pro Tools and I'm going to make sure it's on. So yeah, these ones are not 5 and 6. So let's just make sure everything is 5 and 6. So Shift Alt on the Mac, 5 and 6. All right. So everything's coming out of 5 and 6. Okay, so let's just play the beat and see. BPM is 121.46. And let's save it. Save it really quick. And I gotta go in here and make sure things is correct. Okay. Also, go to the IO. Okay, so let's go to inputs. Let me see where we at. Check. Okay, yeah. So we're going to inputs. And I want to make sure 5 and 6 is on 5 and 6. Like that. 3 and 4 is on 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 is on 1 and 2. This how it need to be. And yeah. Let's leave those like that. Check. And I'm going to put a limiter on. Okay, so in order for it not to clip, I had to put the ceiling at -3.1. So I'm about to save this beat like this. That way when I load it inside the DAW, the MPC DAW, it'll be the same exact beat with that limiter on it, and we're not cheating. Okay? Sound good? All right, let's do that. So it's saving down now. Okay, so let's go ahead and record it. This is the MPC internal we're doing right now, okay? So you know in Pro Tools, once you start recording something, you can always tab to Transient, then I can lock it to the grid. Real simple and easy, all right? So let's go ahead and get started. The MPC, keep that one muted. Now we're going to do the SSL. Let's get that going. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting ready to plug the SSL into the MPC and use it as a sound card. Okay. Now we gotta do the X32. Gotta do the X32 this time. I had to figure some things out because I forgot I had the X32 routed a certain way and all of that crap. So I had to reconfigure it really quickly. Sorry about that. So I did cut that piece out. But we're back. Now I'm going to go ahead and record. Let's go to the beginning first. It's glitching. Save. Okay, so as you can see, those waveforms do not look the same, right? Look at this, y'all. Look at it. Some of this stuff is looking kind of different. Like this part right here, you see the peak on that? Let's zoom in some more. See this bigger peak, small peak, small peak. So you see the X32 sounding a lot different than the internal MPC and the SSL. You see that? So I'm trying to tell you, so you got to experiment and see which one sound the best. Now what I'm going to do is I am getting ready to bounce it down inside the MPC DAW program. All right, so let's load the MPC DAW. I already just put the MPC in controller mode. You can see the red screen. So it's in controller mode. So let's go ahead and let's bounce that same beat down. Let's bounce that same beat down. $96. Okay, let's do it. So I gotta load it though first. So y'all can already kind of see it right there. These waveforms on each wire is way thicker than the bounce. Way thicker than the bounce. Could that be volume? Maybe. We're gonna find out. So we got the bounce. Now let's do the MPC plugin real quick. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the same thing. So let me load it. I gotta figure out how to record the MPC. Let me think. Let's make this go to a bus, maybe. So yeah, I'm just making it go to a bus and I'm recording it same way as the others. And there you have it. We have them all. So the next step that I'm going to do here is I'm going to drag the X6 bounce to the top. Because looking at the waveforms, it looked like this is the quietest one. I'm looking at them, everything look more loud than the X6 bounce. So what I want to do is I want to put the gain plug-in here. The gain plug-in it costs $20. It's by a company called Let It Mix. I'm not sponsored. Y'all know that the companies don't mess with me. They don't mess with me. I don't know what. They don't mess with me. I buy all my own stuff, so I ain't sponsored, all right? Just putting that out there, all right? So this is called Gain Match, not Gain Mix. It's called Gain Match by Let It Mix. So I'm going to put this on the first X6 up there up top, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and make the master track. Put the master in there. And then I'm going to load it again. So now I'm going to put both of these in right here. Let's actually drop this down a little bit more like that. And I'm going to put before there and after there. So now the before section is this one up here up top. The after section is the one right here on the master, right? So basically the goal here is I want to basically get what the levels is of this particular beat so that when I play the other ones, it's going to show me how much of the difference is in this section here where it says auto. In this section, it's going to show me the decibel difference between each one. And then I'm going to manually adjust each one of those to the point that when we see the after, whenever I switch to any one of those different tracks, it should show 0, meaning there's no difference. So that's the experiment that I'm doing with the gain match. Again, I'm going to basically turn on each beat in comparison with this X6. And whatever decibel difference that I get, I'm going to adjust those tracks accordingly to the point we should only see 0 on this after, okay? We should see 0, meaning there's no difference between whenever I'm playing each one of these different tracks, all right? That's the experiment. I hope you made it this far. Let's get it in. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and play this X6 bounce. It actually sounds good. Okay, so you see how it's hitting at 0, right? So it knows what it should be. It knows what it should be. Now I'm going to mute that and then I'm going to play this one. So you see the gain difference there is 1.6, maybe 1.7-ish. It bounced between the two. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn this track down by 1.6. Okay? And I'm going to play it again, and this should 0 out because it's still going according to what we first scanned on this X6 bounce at the top. So let's try it again. So we see we got that one the same volume on the X32. Let's mute it. Let's go to the MPC internal. So we can see the MPC internal need to go down 0.9. Now when I play it again, it should zero out. This is how you get your gains matched. That's about right. Okay, mute it. Let's see what the SSL hitting at. Okay, I just thought about something. Since I recorded it through a bus, it basically is getting the same exact thing as the X6 bounce. Let me check that. Yeah, they look extremely similar. Extremely similar. The waveform, it almost look identical. What I need to do instead, I gotta bring that MPC plugin back. And let me show you something. I'm gonna do it different this time. So let's do that. So let me bring this back real quick. Because what I was supposed to do was bounce it out, bounce it down inside the MPC plugin this way. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So now let me create some new tracks. I don't even know how many instruments in there. Let's just do 10. Stereo. Let's call this MPC plugin beat. And then you see how we got all those? I'm about to group these into a folder. And I want it to be a routing folder. Like that. Okay. So yeah, we can open and close it. Now what I want to do is, in the MPC plugin, I'm going to go to each one of these. Let's see how many. It's 8 of them. So I guess I made too many. Let's just delete these 2. Now we got 8. So now what I want to do, I'm going to go to flute. You see this little thing in the corner? This is how you get the sound. So do that and it bounce down. Drag that in. Get the piano. Bounce it. Drag that in. And so forth. So now we got this, right? But what I need to do, I need to see the bars and beats. Yeah. So it need to be at 5 right there. So now one thing we have to do to the plugin that we did to the others to make this fair, because I'm having to cut too much volume and it's jumping like that. The other one's got that limiter, remember? So I need to put a limiter on here. I need something that's clean as possible. I don't even know what limiter I got that's clean. I'm going to just use L1 from Waves for now. And I remember I turned it down to 3.1 if I'm not mistaken. The ceiling was at 3.1. So let's do that. Auto release it. So that might change things a little bit, but you know, we gotta do it, y'all. We got somebody got to do it. Let's figure this out. So come on, let's try it again. So you guys see how that signal is jumping around like that? To me, I think that just means because I got it stemmed out this way, it's probably more dynamics. It's probably more dynamics. So let's see. That's the best I can do. I'm gonna do negative 1.5. It's gonna keep jumping around. I can't really help that. You know what I mean? Unless I use some type of compressor or really start limiting it, and that's just gonna change the sound completely. We can't do that. Let's leave it alone, and let's just go ahead and let's try to experiment and see what we get. Now that we have them all game matched, I can turn these off, and let's just listen to what we have. Whoa, how did I take a chunk out of this? And inside of options in the solo mode, I have the cancels previous solo turned on just in case you ever wanted to do the experiment yourself. So that means whenever I press solo, it's going to take solo off the other tracks, right? So we're just going to let this run in a loop, and we're going to just go through the tracks, and we're going to see which one sounds the best. All right, let's play. Let's do it. in the comments below what you think. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This experiment did not sound like the Studio One experiment. And just for reference, I don't know what Studio One got going in, but the stuff that I just recorded in Pro Tools sound a lot better. Yeah, I'm not sure what Studio One got going on, but it sounded extremely different when I, like, okay, so in these results, the worst one, I'll tell y'all the worst one. The worst one is this MPC plugin. That's the worst one. And to be honest with y'all, the next one is this X6 bounce. These two are the worst sounding ones. Now, I believe this beat plugin one sounds the best, and I don't know if it's because it's tracked out like this, but I don't know. I feel like this beat plugin one probably sound the best, but it's going to be between the X32, the SSL, and the MPC internal. What I want y'all to pay attention to when y'all listen to the experiment, listen to the bass and the high end, like the snare and the hi-hats. Listen to the differences in that. That's what really is a telltale sign. Like the bass sounds washed out a little bit or like muffled, like a blanket get put over it when you listen to the MPC plugin. And the beat plugin, that part, it sounds a lot better, and through the wire it sounds a lot better. So that should tell you right there, like if you bouncing stuff down inside the MPC plugin, I'm not sure about that. So yeah, that bounce out the MPC program and the MPC plugin sounds the worst to me. The X32 and the SSL and the internal sound good. Now between these three, I don't have no idea. I will have to listen to it a little bit more and see. But I'm liking this one probably the most. And probably because it has more dynamics. It's like it's tracked out. Maybe. So that should tell you another thing. You probably should be tracking your beats out when you making them. So, I don't know. My opinion, there's the experiment. Those are the results. Let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.